Today we are going to have a go at making our very own superhero books. So you can see here I've put my design on the front cover and I've used the name of my superhero as a title. And on the back I've put a barcode, I've put the price, maybe yours will go for even more, and I put a lovely review from my mum. Now this book, as you'll see here, has an extra detail that you can add in and that I'm going to show you how to do today. So this is a little finger puppet, and as you can see I've drawn my little superhero on there, and there's only a few pages in this book, so we've got enough for a beginning where we introduce our character, a next page where we introduce the problem, or in this case the villain that the superhero is going to fight. Then we have the middle bit, which our superhero overcomes a simple problem. In this case, well, it's quite a big problem actually, because she feels a bit scared, but she stands tall, and it shows how they fight and win. And then we've got the ending, and we've got a little bit of a teaser because for the next book. So that's a very simple structure for a very short book that you can have a go at making yourself. And you can see it only needs a few pages, and that's the length of the book I'm going to show you how to make in today's video. Now, when I made this book, I used a hot glue gun. You can do this whole thing with a hot glue gun, but you'll need a grown-up to help you because obviously the clue's in the name. It gets very hot. But we're going to try today to make this without using a hot glue gun. So we'll see if we get on okay. Okay, so to make this, what you'll need is one sheet of decent card, and that's for the cover. You will need one sheet of A4 paper, just normal paper. You will need a pair of scissors. So again, if you need help with scissors, get a grown-up to help you. And also a little pair of scissors. Now these are quite sharp, these are nail scissors, but they are clean. And that's quite useful for cutting out the hole that we'll need. Again, you might need a grown-up for this because these ones are particularly pointy and sharp. Now, as well as this, to draw our hole, we need something that is roughly finger-shaped. Now that could be a 2p piece. That's going to be about the right size. You can see that here, and I've got grown-up size fingers, so it should be plenty big enough for smaller fingers. And we will need something to stick it all together with. So I'm going to try and use double-sided tape and see how we get on with that. And then for my finger puppets, I use these. Now I bought these quite cheaply on Amazon. You get lots and lots of them. And these are just white cotton gloves. And then you can just cut the finger off and use them, and I'll show you how. Obviously, if you have something like this in your house, make sure you check with a grown-up that it's okay to use it. Please do not go cutting the fingers off random gloves in your house. But if you don't have that, we can make a finger puppet just from some fabric. And then if we want to add anything extra at the end, we just need some felt tip pens to draw it on. You can add details like googly eyes, you don't need to. And you can even stick things onto it if you want. Using felt, you can make a cape, but you'll need to be aware that your hole might need to be a little bit bigger because it might catch as you turn the pages. So I actually think it's better to leave it simple and just go with the felt tip. So we'll get started. So the very first thing we need to do is make our front cover. So we take our A4 piece of card, you can see it's quite thick here, and we are going to fold it in half like this. Okay, and then we're going to fold it in half again, so just make sure your lines meet up. You don't have to be exact, this is your book. And then we're just going to press down like this, and you can see you've got quite a nice solid cover. Now because if we were just making a normal book, that would be your cover. You just need to stick the pages together, either with some double-sided tape or some Pritt stick or hot glue gun with a grown-up's help, and you will have your cover, which you can draw your picture on, like your title, like your barcode, etc. on the back. But because we're going to try and do something a bit different today, there's one thing we need to add. What do you think that might be? That's right, we need to draw a circle so we can cut a hole for our finger puppet. So roughly in the middle, or whatever you want it. You might want your finger puppet down the bottom, at the top. It's completely up to you because it's your design. Grab a pencil. And we're going to just draw around the 2p. You see, that's quite a nice size for a hole. And then this is where you might need a grown-up's help because it can be quite tricky to cut circles out of the middle of a piece of paper or card. So we're just going to cut it. It doesn't have to be that neat. And then we just use our pencil again to draw the outline for the hole we want to draw on the other side. And the same thing again. And you can see here, we've got the start of a nice size hole for our finger puppet. So the next thing we need to prepare is our inside paper. So for this, it's just a normal piece of paper like you'd use in the printer. And again, we're going to fold it in half, like this. Ooh. Make sure you push that down quite nicely so you get a good fold there. And then we're going to open it up and we're going to cut, using bigger scissors this time, along the fold line. It doesn't need to be exact. I think it's quite nice when books are a bit rough around the edges because it makes them different. It shows that they're handmade with love. And then you can see you've got 2 sheets, roughly the same size. See, look, I haven't gone all the way, so it's a bit different. But we're going to line them up like this. We'll line the tops up, and I usually tend to put the 2 uncut edges at the bottom because as you see they're a bit rough. Yours might be neater. And then we're going to fold them over again. And that is the start of our book. You can see our pages. Now, if you want, you can obviously add more pages if you want to write a longer book. You just need to repeat that process with more sheets of paper, and you can just layer them inside like this. We're just going to make this very basic at this time. So for this, we need to now add, what do you think? That's right, we need to add finger holes. So we're going to pop it inside like this. I'm going to close it, and you can see the hole here provides a beautiful template to show us where we need to cut the hole so it will line up. So again, we take the sharp little scissors, so get your grown up if you need to at this point. Now, if we put it inside, you see, yes, we've got a perfect hole for our finger puppet to come through. So now we start the assembly. First of all, we're going to add the finger puppet. Now I'm going to use my glove that I bought, that I have permission to use. Please, as I said before, don't go cutting up your grown-ups gloves without permission. So check with them first. You can always make a little finger puppet out of this, and we'll have a go at that at the end and see how we might go about that. So I can use any of these fingers really, but I'm going to use the thumb because it's quite a big hole and this has a bit more space on the fabric. So if I cut out like an angle here, like that, be careful with the cutting. You might need a grown-up for this bit because it can be a bit tricky to cut fabric. Right, so what's going to happen is this. We're going to put it through here. So this is the inside of your book. So you're putting it on the top one if you open it out, because then what we do is we stick it like this inside and we cover it up. So the back is actually really neat. So that is the plan. So we're opening it up, we're putting it through here, and we're going to attach it to the inside of this side. So I'm using double-sided tape this time. And we're going to stick it down. So I'm taking one of the flaps. And you want the seams to be at the side ideally, so try and make sure that's the case. And we're going to stick it down like this. And we're going to stick the bottom bit down like this. And it might need a bit of stretching if you've got a bit of a smaller glove, but that's not a problem. And sort of fix it like that. And you can see it's stuck. And if you look on the other side, here, there. So now what we need to do is we need to stick it together to make a proper cover. And that is very simple. So you can either get a Pritt stick and go all over it like this and then just push it down, fold it. You can get a hot glue gun again, but with a grown-up, or because I'm just trying to use sticky tape this time, that is what I'm going to do. So we just shut it like this, press down on one side, press all around the edges like this, and look. We have a lovely front cover. Now all we need are some pages to go inside. And we've already got them, we've cut them out. Look, they fit over beautifully. Now we just need a way to stick them into the book. So as I've said, I've always used a hot glue gun in the past. And for that, you'd literally get your grown-up to help you, or get your grown-up to do this, to put a line of hot glue along here. You pop this in, hold it in place, careful not to get the hot glue on your hands. Hold it down until it's dry, not tacky, and then you open it up. And you do the same there. But we are going to try and do this with double-sided tape. So we're going to I think we're going to stick it here, right along the edge of the book, so it's underneath, and we'll peel it off. We're taking both of them together, okay, at the moment. So this is the outside one, and we are going to very carefully line it up and press down. Okay, that's in. And then we'll repeat with the inside pages. And you just do this as many times as you need if you want more pages. Like this. It does mean that your page won't open all the way. It's going to have a little bit of a border there. So it is neater with a hot glue gun, or it might be that you can use some string around the spine to hold it in. So you can experiment with different ways of binding your book. If you find a really good way, feel free to let me know via social media, because I'm always looking for new ideas. So, but here we go. So we've got our cover, got our finger puppet, got a page inside, another page inside. Oh, sorry. Another page inside. You can see there, I mean, it's like lost a little bit because of the sticky to it. It's not a big deal. It's got lots of pages to do your drawings and your writing. And there we are. And that is the blank page for you to use your author superpower to make an awesome story this World Superhero Day. Okay, so I did say I would have come back and show you how you can make a finger puppet without using gloves. So this is just a really rough square of fabric that I've cut from an old top. Again, if you're going to do that, obviously check with your grown-up. But this is just better than buying fabric, but you can just buy fabric. It can be patterned if you want, but this is white. And the really, really simple way to do this is literally to sort of lie it over your hole like this, push your finger through, and you'll see it forms a nice little finger puppet that you can draw your pattern on. If you want, you can probably get your grown-up to cut it and make it more into a finger shape, but I don't think we need to do that. Because I think once you've coloured it all in and everything, it's going to look just like the other one, really. So we'll do the same as before. We're going to add our double-sided tape. And then we will sort of put our finger in it like this, make a kind of ghost, woo, and push it through. So you get the kind of size that you want. Can be a bit fiddly, I think, but there we go. So if you want it like that, maybe we want some fabric behind, so we kind of know roughly what fabric we want to push around, then just literally push it into this. If you end up with a little bit of extra fabric, you can either just leave it because it will go inside the cover, or you can get very carefully, get some sharp scissors and kind of tidy it up a little bit. But look, you'll see here you have a really nice finger puppet. And then it's just the same as before. Now what I might do is an extra step on this, because there is quite a lot of fabric. I think if you were doing it, you could be a bit more careful. You could like make sure it's a bit more the right size, because I'm trying to do it quickly. We'll just put a little bit of tape around the hole on the other side, so that will kind of hold the fabric in place, as well as around the sides of the book. So here we go, make sure it's pointing out still, like this, and like that. And then, look, you can just use your felt tip to draw eyes, mouth, you can draw a cape on the back, and you can move it around and it can interact with the story. So there's no need to use fingers or gloves if you don't have any, okay? Now, if you do make any superheroes, or superhero books, I would love to see them on social media, so please do feel free to ask your grown-up if they're okay to share them, and you can tag me in them, because I love seeing all the creative things that you all make.